What's the worst thing that a guy said to you that in his mind was a compliment? I'll go first. So I was hanging out with this guy. It was like our second time hanging out. We had just started talking, and we were just sitting around talking about music, right? And then all of a sudden he goes, I really like you. You're different. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I just wouldn't be able to have this conversation with any other girls. They're all just stupid. Buddy, listen, I'm sure every girl has the intellectual capacity to listen to you talk about Astroworld for 45 minutes. The difference is that they just didn't want to, and I feel like they are actually smarter than me because they were able to avoid this situation entirely.
Okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for telling you this because Preston legitimately thought that this was a compliment. Like, in his heart, he was saying this genuinely to be nice to me, but it wasn't nice. I mean, in his eyes, it was nice, but it was not to me. Anyways, so he's checking out the ladies, loving on them. He's like, oh my God, I love them. And I'm like, I know. And he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, oh, I just love your natural sag. So obviously, my reaction was not pleasant. And he was like, oh, no, I just love, backpedal. It was too late. Anyways, I told his whole stream. They obviously got mad at him, and he's gonna get mad at me for telling you. But you need to know. It's not a compliment. Don't say it.
You're the prettiest girl with acne I've seen.
Finally, my time to shine. Bear with me, because this is good. So I was on a first date with a guy, and he begins to give me this whole analogy about when people run in a race, they're given these little cups of Gatorade or water on the sidelines to help them get to the finish line. He then said that I am in fact the Gatorade, meaning, in his words, I am the Gatorade before the finish line. And he then proceeds to say that I'm the girl that you meet before you meet the one. I'm the girl that you date before you meet your wife and before you meet the love of your life. So that is why I'm in fact the Gatorade. Needless to say, I never talked to him again, but he did in fact say this is a compliment.
I've never been with a redhead because I'm not really attracted to them, but you're really hot, so if you want, you can get with me. I looked at him like, oh. And then we hooked up.
This is my freshman year. I was seeing this French ambassador who was visiting at the time, and he was talking to me, put me on his lap, and looked me dead in my eyes and asked me, how's my little girl boy doing today?
The first time my husband told me that he loved me when we were dating, he said, I love you, muffin top. And I was 40 pounds overweight from what I normally was. And so I got kind of sad. And he's like, what? You don't like when I call you muffin top? And I said, well, do you know what muffin top is? He goes, yeah, it's the best part of the muffin. And I said, no, that's what we call fat that hangs over our jeans. And I've definitely got some muffin top right now. And he was so embarrassed. And he was like, I didn't mean it that way. I seriously meant it because muffin tops are my favorite part of the muffin.
So I'm talking to this guy, I go over his house. We're just playing card games, chilling. And he looks at me, he's like, do you always, wear makeup? And I'm like, no, only if I have somewhere to go. And he's like, well, do you, never not wear it? And I'm like, yeah, when I'm by myself chilling. And he's like, oh, I really want to see you without it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you could. And he's like, why don't you take it off? I'm like, well, I don't have any, makeup wipes. And he's like, oh, my sister got some in the bathroom. We should go. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. It's cool. And he's like, no, I really want to see you without it. Let's go. And I'm like, I'm good. This takes me a minute. And he's like, come on, Drea, let's go. I want to see you without. And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll take it off. Mind you, I'm only taking off my face makeup because my eye makeup, I'm not doing that. And then he's like, wow, you're so pretty without makeup. And I'm like, you idiot, because if I were to take off my eye makeup, I'd be looking like this panda at the bottom.
I did a makeup live sometime last year in the beginning of quarantine. This was the makeup look that I did. And this guy I used to go out with thought his opinion mattered like most guys, and decided to comment. Mind you, I was already done with his ass before he said this to me. He was doing the usual compliments like, oh, you look fierce, you look badass. And I was like, sure, haha, thanks. But then he said, and I quote, yeah, you should do beauty shoots with your own makeup styles. Your makeup styles look fierce, intimidating, and badass, especially with your chinky eyes and that signature slash you do. Excuse me? I told this dumbass motherfucker, don't you dare call my eyes chinky ever again. I swear, the motherfucking audacity with these men.
I've actually had multiple guys tell me this, but I've had guys literally come up to me thinking this a compliment and say, oh my gosh, you would look so much better if you were light-skinned, like you're so pretty, but you're just too dark. Who says that and thinks it's a compliment? What?
Okay, it's literally my time. All right, so when I was a freshman, like sophomore, somewhere in there in high school, I was talking to this white boy, and people were like, oh, you're so cute, like, wow, you're gonna make like such cute little mixed babies. And he was like, they're not gonna be mixed. And I was like, quit playing, that's funny. And he was like, they're not. And I was like, why would they not be? And he was like, well, I'm white and you're mixed, so our kids are gonna be 75% white and they're only gonna be 25% black, so we're not gonna call them mixed, we can just say that they're white. And I was like, baby boy, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not mixed, I'm just black. And he like looked at me and was like, well, that's okay. At least you don't look black.
I once had a guy come up to me at a club and start hitting on me, and he led with the line, you look like you're well fed. Thank you, I am.
For clarification, I used to be 270 pounds, but I went on a date and the guy said, and I quote, I don't usually date fat girls, but I made an exception for you because you're so pretty. And then he told me I should be lucky that he made that exception. And then he told me, this is the icing on the cake, he said, oh, look, it's like we're living the real life version of Hairspray.
I was talking with this one guy and we FaceTime. He looked me up and down and he goes, you're a lot fatter than I thought you'd be. It's a good thing I like BWW.
Well, I'm on Grindr once, you know, Grindr, like gay Tinder. Very dark and dangerous place, even for the gays. So I'm minding my own business and this guy comes along and he proceeds to chat me up. You know, he's nice enough, so exchange photos, white guy by the way, we swap photos and he goes, you're really pretty, you're just the right shade of black. And I go, excuse me? I'm like, oh no, he didn't, but he had. And he continues to say, I'm not really into black guys, but you're not black, are you? You're mixed raced. At this point, I just can't believe what I've just read. So I'm just like, mate, you know, get better. It's not going to happen. Bye-bye. And I block him. Now, I know, should have called him out for his racism, but at that time, I was just too shocked.
It would have to be when a guy told me I was pretty for someone in a wheelchair.
Like 3 years ago, I had gone on this like blind date with my friend's coworker. I had seen my Instagram pictures and he was like really into me or whatever, so we met up. When I got there, I guess he was like mad no one warned him that I was like tall, and he was like 5'7" and I'm like 6 feet, so like there was like a little bit, it wasn't that big of a difference, I think. He was like, at the end of the day, he was like, you're so beautiful and like perfect and you're literally everything I'm looking for. I just can't look past your height. What do you say to that?
Oh my god, like usually I'm not attracted to black girls, but you, my melanin queen, you're so beautiful. Oh my god.
So with me being a plus size person my whole life, there are so many stories to choose from, but this one actually happened about 3 years ago. So I was with this guy and he was laying his head on my butt like it was a pillow, because people like doing that. I have a big butt and I get that. But anyways, he turns to me and he says, I love your body. It is just so soft and big and comfy. I just love it. And I'm not offended. I'm just like, oh, thank you. It is all those things, and it's nice. But this guy proceeds to say, it's like you're a big couch. And I'm like, did this motherfucker just call me a couch?